Dear students, welcome to my online class. I am Dick Baluchin, lecturer of English, Pandavan Cantonment Public School and College. Dear students, today I am here to conduct a class for you on your English second paper on topic narration or changing speech from direct to indirect or indirect to direct. Narration, narration means changing the statement of someone. When someone says something, if you exactly repeat it without any change, then it is called direct narration or direct narration or speech. And if you change the statement into your own language, own words, then it is called indirect narration or indirect speech. For example, let's see, when you say Hassan said he went home, and it is exactly what Hassan said, and if you repeat it, if you write it, if you say it exactly as it is Hassan said. For example, if you say Hassan said I went home, then it is called direct narration. And if you change it into your own language and say that Hassan said that he had gone home, then it is called indirect narration or indirect speech. The direct narration is always within the inverted commas. The statement of certain person, a particular person or a speaker is within the inverted commas. As I have shown here, you see, direct narration, Hassan said, I went home. This statement is within the inverted commas. So, what is within the inverted comma is called reporting speech. In brief, I am writing RS, and the verb here he said here it is reporting verb. In brief, I have written here RV. The statement of the speaker in direct narration is always within the inverted commas. Here, I went home. Hassan said I went home. This is the statement of Hassan. It is within the inverted commas. And Hassan said at the beginning, the said, requested, like this. This is called reporting verb. So we must know these two things, reporting verb and reported speech, because we need it. It's very important to know. Remember. So direct narration and indirect narration or direct speech or indirect speech, I think they clear to you at the time. So now, how to change them? When you see direct narration within the inverted commas, and when you want to change it into indirect narration or speech, you need to know certain things. For example, these things are here. I will do here. You need to know how to change the tense of the speech of the statement within the inverted commas. You have to change the person of the statement within the inverted commas. You have to change the sentence types. In direct narration, within the inverted comma, the sentence may be any types within out of the four types: the assertive, interrogative, imperative, optative, exclamatory. But when you change it into indirect narration, all sentences turn into assertive sentences. Remember that. Change of reporting verb. Reporting verb, I told you here. Hassan said, this said here before the inverted comma is called reporting verb. It changes into 12 to 15 different types depending on the relation between the speaker and the person spoken to. So now let's see. Today I will focus on how to change tense. Here you see in direct narration, Hassan said I went home. When I have changed it into indirect narration in my own language, in my own words, say I've written Hassan said that he had gone home. Now clearly you can understand, you can see that I went home is a sentence of past indefinite tense, but here he had gone home is a sentence of past perfect tense. That means when you change, you need to change from direct into indirect. Speech from direct to indirect, you need to know, you need to change the tense of the statement. So now let's see. Today my class will be within the discussion of tense. How to say? Pretty simple. So in direct narration, within the inverted commas, if you see a sentence of present indefinite tense, if you change it into indirect narration, you have to change the tense into past indefinite tense. So in the same way, all four present indefinite tense will change into their equivalent past tense. For example, past present indefinite into past indefinite, the present continuous into past continuous, present perfect into past perfect, present perfect continuous into past perfect continuous. In the same way, it's all about present tense. Now let's talk about past tense. If you find a sentence in the direct narration within the inverted commas, if it is a sentence of past indefinite tense in direct narration, it will change into past perfect tense. For example, I've shown you here, I went home, it is a sentence of past indefinite tense. When you have changed from direct to indirect, it changed into he had gone home, past perfect tense. So past indefinite tense will change into past perfect tense from direct to indirect. Past continuous tense to past perfect continuous tense, and past perfect tense and past perfect continuous tense will not change. That means if you find any sentence within the inverted commas in direct narration in past perfect tense or in past perfect continuous tense, they will not change when they change into direct to indirect narration. For example, if I say Hassan said, I had done the work, it is direct narration, and if you change it into indirect, like Hassan said that he had done the work, you see here also past perfect tense, and in the direct narration also past perfect. That means when the tense in the direct narration within the inverted commas in a sentence is either past perfect tense or past perfect continuous tense, when you change it into indirect narration, the tense will not change. There is no change. So you say I have written no change. Now let's talk about future tense. I have written here, in future tense you need to only change the person of the inverted reported speech. For example, I, here he said I will go home. This I will, if the person, if the subject is first person, if the subject of a reported species first person, in indirect narration it changes into third person, remember that. And here you need to change is the modal auxiliary will, and you need to change the person, nothing will change, no verb will change. He said I will go home. In indirect narration you have to write he said that he would go home. Only will has changed into would, and the person, the subject of the statement I had changed into he. Again, in future continuous tense, I will be reading. When I change it into direct to indirect, it is just like that. He said that he would be reading. Only I changed here would into would, and the subject of the reported speech. And in future perfect tense, I would have done it. Direct narration. When I change it into indirect narration, it will be he said that he would have done it. He said. And in future perfect continuous tense, for example, he said I would have been reading since morning. Here the the subject of the statement of the reported speech will change and the modal verb will change into would. Nothing will change. He said that he would have been, I would have been reading since morning. He said, in indirect narration it would be, he said that he would have been reading since morning. So dear students, this is what in fact you see very clearly I discussed how to change tense in narration. It's very important. If you want to have good command over narration, you must have a good command over changing tense, because narration means changing from one tense to another tense, changing sentence from one tense to another tense. So it's very important to know how to change tense. So in today's class, my discussion has been kept within the discussion of tense and some other things. In my next class, I will discuss some more important rules on change of person, change of sentence, change of repeating verb, and rules of passage narration. So I think you will enjoy, and please be with me, and please be sincere to learn, to practice. Then those who already know, I believe that many of you have good command over this topic. It's not a matter for you, but here I'm talking about those who are a bit weak or weaker than others. So please here, for your further understanding of the topic, I'd like to suggest you something, some homework for you. Let's say find out some easy passage narration from your textbook and work on them. This is number one for those who are good in English. And number two, go through the rules from pages 132 to pages 138 of the textbook and read the rules, practice the rules, try to understand them. This part is for the weaker ones, who is a bit less strong. I will say, weak. Now they understand a bit less. So if I'm sure if you follow me, if you sincerely try and try to understand, try to follow, if you practice this, I think you will be able to understand this topic well. Students, I am almost at the end of my class. Thank you very much for watching this class with great attention, and I hope you will enjoy and utilize this class. Thank you again. Allah Hafiz.